And Misbehaving is the 9th episode of season 37 of The Simpsons. This one is directed by Gabriel DeFrancesco, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. I found this to be tremendously boring. It was okay to begin with, but as it went on, I just thought it was very, very dull. So I don't have too much to say. It's not bad in the sense that it was annoying or unrealistic. I just found it to be really boring. It starts off with Selma finding out she's the new supervisor at the DMV, and then the kids are getting dental checkups, and Bart pulls a prank, costs a lot of money, and Homer punishes him for this. So he goes to his room, he mutters some things about how he doesn't like Homer, and Patty overhears this and decides to declare Homer legally dead. She can log into Selma's supervisor account at the DMV. Obviously, they have a very similar face, so she can use the face recognition login. And I never thought about that until now, actually. I suppose it is a choice to use face recognition, so if you are an identical twin, you have to really trust your twin. Obviously, this is maybe not something Selma thought Patty would ever do. She logs in, she touches one button, and Homer is legally declared dead. And Homer finds this out when he is eating in his car. Wiggum pulls him over. He runs his license, of course, and finds out that he's dead. And Homer is having a great time because obviously he doesn't have to pay anything and everything's going really well for him. And honestly, I wish that had been the main focus of the episode. They could have done so much with that. They could have had so much fun, ultimately leading the episode to something catching up with Homer and saying that this is not what you should do in this scenario. It could have been a teachable moment that would have been really good fun along the way, but it felt really underdeveloped. Now, it's not meant to be the main part of the narrative, but the main part is really, really boring. It might have a good message if you are living very closely with somebody, but it's ultimately really boring. Selma and Patty, I don't think I've ever said it that way around. Patty and Selma decide to go their own way. And Patty gets a haircut, and we get a couple of minutes of them living their own lives, and it's boring. It is really, really boring. And the Simpsons family tries to get them back together. They ultimately realise that even though they are twins and have a deep connection, they never really sit down and have a proper conversation about what they want, about their living situations, and they come to a compromise. They can still be very close, but live in separate apartments. And we find out at the end that they do have separate apartments next door to one another, which, yeah, it's a decent compromise. If you want to live close to your twin or to anybody, but you don't want to live with them, getting close together apartments is not a terrible idea. Will this be the same going forward, or will this be something The Simpsons forgets and then in the next episode that they're in, they're living together again? Who knows? I don't know. There are many times when The Simpsons introduces something and then it's never seen or heard of again, so I don't know if this will be permanent. It could be quite interesting to explore it a bit more, to see the differences in decor. I don't know if they'd have very wildly different decors, or if they'd be identical, and that in itself would be a gag, I guess. So I don't know, maybe we'll see over time. But the events leading up to that, not interesting at all. But I do think it's a good message, helping to show that you can, I guess, have it all. You can live independently, but still live close, and I think it's a decent conclusion. So the journey wasn't great, but I did like the destination. And as I said, the story with Homer could have been so much more. They could have had so much more fun with it, and then ultimately delivering the message that something bad would happen as a result of Homer carrying on life as if he was dead, and then obviously explaining that if this does happen to you, you can't just continue with it. So that would have been more interesting, but we did get to a good message in the end with this one. So it's not my favourite. I wouldn't skip it. I don't think I would. If I was binge watching this season, I'd probably continue watching it, but I would never choose it. Definitely not a highlight. But I guess while it is quite dull and Misbehaving, definitely isn't the worst episode of The Simpsons.